I do not normally use the soundtrack that comes with this recording of video because the background noise is immense. We're right in the shadow of I-95 and the cars drive me crazy. But you should get a little bit of a sense of this. So we preserved some of it. This guy was standing there as I came up to the pond. He flew away. I started to pay attention to other stuff. I set the camera up. I look up, he's sitting in the tree. I get some pictures. About the time he flies away, I look up. A hawk flew overhead, and that's what set him off. This pond is full of turtles. Something like 18 turtles live in this little pond. In the morning, they line up and sun on this log. In the afternoon, only a few tend to hang out. And this guy was hanging out on the log. It's always a dilemma to know whether to edit out the windy shots that make the camera shake, the wind that blows the leaves and branches in front of the turtle so you get fuzzy pictures. But I decided for this video that what you do is you get a lot of how I do video and how poorly I do video, and you'll see the shaking camera and the hard to get things centered as you zoom in. I like to get something in picture and zoom right into it. This picture though is my frog census. That stretch of coastline, you can walk and the frogs jump, and at different times of year there's different amounts of frogs, and it's kind of a good check of how many frogs are around. And you don't see all of them, and some of the circles in motion is tadpoles and fish, but every once in a while, like that one, you get a big frog jumping. Bullfrog tadpoles. You can see how murky the water is, and therefore anything in the water in this pond is extremely hard to video. You saw that with the tadpoles. This is some of the best fish pictures I've ever gotten. This sequence, there's a series of them around that little branch sticking up. And it's some of the best pictures I've ever gotten, and some of the clearest, the best picture. You really ought to look at it though in full screen. In full screen you can really see what the fish look like. in contrast to the drainage swale about a couple hundred yards away, where the tadpoles are very easy to video and the frogs and toads are almost impossible to video, here the bullfrogs they just sit there for you, and so they're very photogenic, so you can get some very good shots of them sitting there. You very rarely get them in motion, but you can get them sitting there. Whereas the tadpoles in this murky water, and the way they move, it's really hard to get good shots. I got some today, but it's very hard. So, and this is just a series of things moving around in the water. I mean, half the time you don't see the actual animal, you see the wake. And then you're trying to figure out what causes what kind of wakes. And there's a turtle poking its head up, and I don't know what jumped over there. There's fish, there's tadpoles, there's bullfrogs, and there's several different kinds of turtles. And so you're just guessing some of the times, and eventually a little head will poke up or not, and you just don't know. I only got this camera recently, so I don't really know quite how it works yet. So I'm trying it out in different settings, and so sometimes you get the same picture with a little bit of color, a little bit of brightness change. I'm still not sure, and it's hard for me to tell out in the field. So it's going to be a long period of experimentation before I really know what the camera does, but I got time. Turtles swimming are often extremely difficult to video. They swim rapidly enough and underwater, so it's hard to follow them. This is a very young turtle, probably born last year. It's one of the smallest ones in the pond. And it was close to shore, and it just sat there for me. And I hope I took proper advantage.